This is going to be a direct drawing video, and I'm going to demonstrate doing a straight ahead drawing and do my best to describe my thought process as I'm doing it. Hopefully that will be helpful to anyone trying to learn how to do this and do direct drawings without any pre-sketching. It's a very interesting way to practice drawing and test yourself, surprise yourself, and learn more. So hopefully my mind won't beach ball as I do this. This here, what I'm holding is something I might use a little bit of a ruler in some places because I'm going to do a little bit of perspective. It's kind of fun. I made this myself from a cheapo plastic wood ruler. It's like, you know, $1 at the art store. But it allowed me to carve. Like what I did is I took an X-Acto knife and carved some bumps here. This side has bigger bumps and this side is smaller. I put felt on the back. I just stuck it on with glue because I use it on my Cintiq and I didn't want to scratch the screen. So now it's become my old friend. I even wrote on it the Glass-Williams ruler for wobbly lines. So I can add different amounts of wobble but still rule a straight line. It kind of saves time. Glass-Williams was a great old British cartoonist. I should do a video about him. Note to self. Okay, so what I'm going to do is improvise around a theme. So I basically have in my mind a kind of basic theme I'm going to work on. I have several of them. And then I have a sort of a basic starting image. The rest is improvised. So the image is in my mind. So the rest is improvised from there. So for example, my personal themes are, I mean, you can come up with your own. I like to draw these cartoony animals, but my themes are things like animals in aircraft, animals in funny motor cars, you know, countrysides, sometimes more science fiction-y scenes featuring aircraft that I invent. And I've done a bunch of animals motoring around in cities, which I think I'll try and do here. So it's a way of putting yourself on the spot. And I'll hopefully talk a little bit about perspective in here too. Okay, so let's get started. Enough yakking. Don't need the cap. Okay, so I'm going to start with a character. And what I do is, usually is, when I start the character, it then starts emerging what a possible story could be. So I don't have it all preconceived. But again, like I have to, you know, put myself on the spot here and do this. So I'll have a guy walking down the street, one of my funny characters, and the other day I was drawing the 70s kind of guy, so maybe I'll do something related to that. Oops, well, I made a mark by accident, so let's just go with it. And sunglasses are funny, so I'll just draw some kind of almost like aviator glasses of some kind. And I'm already thinking of some kind of dog, so I think I'll go with that. Now, where do I go from here? I think let's just see what I can get to. Like I said, it's not worked out really in my mind except a basic 3/4 view of this dog walking down the street. I don't even know if he's a dog. He's going to be some kind of weirdo character. Let's give him a cigarette already. That's always good for cheap entertainment. And we'll draw some ash later hanging off that, which is also fun. The great thing about this is you just draw, have fun, and if it really doesn't work out, you know, in the end, what you have to learn to adopt is an idea that it's just a piece of paper. And you can throw it away and start again. But you learn something every time you do it. Okay, so we got his head. Usually I don't go for an extreme pose. I should probably do some videos like that. Try something more extreme, like something like walking, and is a bit easier, but still hard enough because really I'm inventing the thing out of whole cloth. I don't have it pre-planned. So now I'm thinking like, okay, so there's this dog. I've got these aviator sunglasses. Let's keep moving here. Got to always keep moving. What kind of, does he have a hat maybe? If so, that might have to do with his his like situation. Like, does he have a baseball cap? A fedora? Like, who is he? So I think I'll draw like maybe some kind of floppy hat. That might be fun. All right, no, like, I know. We'll go with some kind of fedora, actually. That's fun. Maybe it's like an old fedora. And it's tilted up. So the brim hasn't been bent. What you're trying to do here is not make a fatal mistake. The fatal mistake is one where it just looks so bad I can't fix it because this is a marker and I'm not erasing, in which case you wouldn't see the video because I'd delete it. That has happened. But what did I do? See, I'm talking. His ear is supposed to be bigger, but anyway, let's just go with it. He's got tiny little dog ears. And hair. The more hair, the more 70s, I guess. Okay, so now we're rolling. He's got his hair. How do I give him more character? What am I going to put him in? What clothes am I going to put on him? Let's give him some kind of like, muzzle. Could either be stubble or, I don't know, dog pores? Is that a thing? Dog pores. Okay. And show a bit of the, okay, it's the sidebars on his glasses. All right, I know, okay, I know. Let's go a little bit, maybe disco, if I can think of the right clothing. That means big lapels. And it probably means like a chain. Trying to remember the disco era. Like I said, this is all improvised. And some kind of like, and then it's probably kind of like a vest that's overlapping with buttons. Now, all right, what's he got here? He's walking and he's carrying some kind of briefcase. That's always fun because it implies story, the interaction with objects, right? Like, and I could draw any number of, let's draw a satchel. I don't know who this guy is actually, but let's make it, I was going to draw a briefcase, but that would imply business. And let's do some kind of satchel with a fold over, snap kind of thing. I suppose I could have something coming out of it, but anyway. Now, he's holding that, buttons, and let's go for pot belly or not pot belly. To pot belly or not pot belly, that is the question. Yeah, let's make this a vest. See, it looked like the seam of a jacket, but if I go like this, suddenly it's a vest. And we're gonna pot belly. Let's give him it's got like a cigar here, with that little label on it, and maybe a pen. And the vest has got some kind of pocket. Anyway, okay. And all right, now I'm running out of space at the bottom, as you can see, which is always a problem with this kind of thing. But really what it does is it forces you to work with it and improvise. Oh, I know. Another cheap go-to element is, that I've discovered, is chest hair. Add chest hair for comedy, people, to your drawings. Let's make him smiling a bit. He's happy. Maybe, what has he done? A drug deal? Is he on his way to the dealer? Is he delivering? Okay, is he putting all the cash in the bank? Do I have dollar bills? Yeah, let's have dollar bills. A couple of stray dollar bills flying out here. The old cartoon dollar bill, because it's too small to really draw anything. How do you communicate? You do that. You do this kind of thing. The old banknotes. Okay, so he's a bit out of it because he hasn't noticed that his dollar bills are blown out in the breeze. And yeah, let's have him have a bottle. What has he got a bottle of? He's drinking, but he shouldn't be. He's open. He's out in the street. Let's see how you draw somebody holding with this little doggy grip. He's got a, what is it, like a whiskey bottle maybe? Like a taller bottle? I guess so. His little dog claws here. Charming little dog. He's got a tight grip on this bottle because it's important to him. I guess I gotta have those little alcohol bubbles coming out, or maybe it's beer, and these are the cartoon symbols, you know. That's a bad drawing of the bottom, but what the heck? I'm a perfectionist. I gotta study people more. Like, I've been making notes in my head, like Carl Barks, who did the great Donald Duck comics, you know. Any cartoonist that knows in history of cartooning, people will know how great he was. Okay, let's keep going, because they used all these kinds of symbols. Now I got to connect that hand. Sometimes you actually jump ahead, and as long as you put the hand in reasonable position, like I wanted to get the position right, because if I just drew the arm going down like I did with this one, I might make it in the wrong place. Like, I wanted the bottle in relation to him in a certain spot. Like if he was lifting up, I would have figured out how to draw the bottle and hand up here and then join the arm. As long as I didn't put the bottle too far, it would have worked nicely. So that's what I did here. I thought, okay, he's just walking, he's holding it in front of him. He's not really doing anything in particular. It's not like animation acting or something. Now my only problem is just to join that arm. And you're really, with this kind of drawing, you're just figuring out one thing at a time, one line at a time. And you're trying to, like I said, not make an egregious mistake. It's never going to be perfect, but it's fun. You just don't want to make the drawing killer that you can't erase. But sometimes when you make mistakes, as I might have touched on earlier, like it can actually prompt new things, because it's like a fumble in a football game. You kind of have to recover and figure out a new way to go with the drawing. So that's what I'm doing here. These are stretch marks from the semi-pot belly here, because you're gonna get pull lines. All right, medallion, finish that. And now I got to get his legs in here. So let's get some short legs, because I just don't have much room. Okay, let's and trying to draw him like to look like he's kind of almost wobbling a bit. Got to draw tiny shoes on him, because or boots or whatever he's wearing. There's really no room. I probably should have put big disco heels on him, but anyway, those are the kind of things that you can do a variation on later, and just this is just to make up stuff. And each one of these I do, it generates more ideas, because then you think, oh, well, what if I added this or changed that? And it's really kind of fun. Another note I'll make is that I'm using a thick marker on purpose. I like it, it's graphic, and it keeps it simple. You can't get fussy. Like if you go in with a really fine pencil and stuff, you can just not deal with the big shapes and silhouettes and movements and lines, which is really what I'm trying to do. Here, I guess I need a pull line from his shoulder. And here we have compression. On these kind of cartoon drawings, I find that I'm not going to put in too many interior wrinkles, because it's going to cloud up the drawing, especially before I've done the entire rest of it. Now, probably in the sake of time, because I'm already about 15 minutes in here, 14, 15 minutes, I'm probably not going to make the background super complicated if I can stop myself. I mean, I could make other characters and stuff happening, or even an interaction, but that would take a lot longer. So I think probably what I'll do is just, show some perspective and then finish up. So I can already feel the perspective, and where I set the horizon. Like if I set the horizon here, I could draw a line here, if you can see that, and then it would be like a low angle shot, and then I wouldn't have to draw too much. But if I put the horizon up here, like we're looking at his eye level, so the horizon line is at the viewer's eye level, then I'm going to have to draw in a lot more stuff. So probably I'll do it down here for this drawing because it makes it a lot easier. And often what I do is I just do a basic like indication, very minor, like that. And then we're going to remember that's my horizon line. But it stops me from committing all the rest of it. But I'm going to do a sidewalk, and I think I'm going to have, so when I draw this next line, if that's the horizon, then the other line is where the perspective will be. Like I could make it go this way. He could be going onto a sidewalk. Maybe I'll do that. And where's it? No, I'm going to do it this way. I'm talking to myself, but that's what you have to do. It's all about decisions. So I'll use this ruler. And if I put my vanishing point here, which is where we are looking from, and that's where the camera would be. It would be low down looking here, so we're kind of looking up and over at him. So say I make that my vanishing point. I'm going to leave room for a lamppost there. And so now, like I'm going to put a line here kind of to give the perspective. This could be anything. It could be like maybe and that's the vanishing point, so the lines have to all point there. This could be like the concrete border of like a planter or something, which is what I'm going to make it. And that could be some shrubbery. You can have some kind of, just to give some depth, and I want to deal with this corner up here. So this, I'm going to put in some kind of small tree maybe. Have it go like this, which is another kind of standard thing in the repertoire. You see it in animation and drawings. The corner tree of various kinds. And you try and make it interesting. And usually I draw it from the trunk out for the same reason as I was talking about drawing bodies. You don't usually draw the outer parts and go, you start from the central mass and work out. But occasionally you violate that. But here I'm just going to just draw like the tree in a simple way. Trees commonly have a twist to them, so often I use that. I saw that in an old book on drawing, and then I started looking in nature. I could do a whole separate video on that. The tree trunks slowly rotate for whatever reason. Most of them. Not all of them, because these are the kind of nutty things you can do when you're an artist and you walk around, you try and activate your brain and store things. So I've been looking at trees for a long time, and it's like, are they twisting? And actually a lot of them seem to. And if you dot in the foliage here, like, it saves a lot of time. Although I'm trying to do it with a consistent pattern of a consistent amount of broken lines, but you're trying to, cartoons suggest foliage. And I'm always thinking about the composition. I'm trying to get the eye back to where I want it to look. You're not trying to take the eye away. So, okay, so that's basically that. I'm going to keep working here. Now I need my lamppost. And I don't want to hit this, so I want to keep going above it. And some kind of basic lamppost. I'm going to use my wobble ruler to save time. Sometimes I just draw these so-called freehand, the famous freehand, but here I'm going to just do this because I'm trying to speed up a bit. I told you that talking takes more time. Should we do a trash? Speaking of trash, should we do a trash bin here? I was on Trash Cast, so now in honor of EVS is a wireframe trash bin. And this is more opportunity for story ingredients embedded in a background, like any number of things. Like if I had, something funny thrown away in the trash can, it adds story. This is a little too centered. I would change that if I was redoing, but it doesn't matter. Okay, there's a golf club. And if it's not completely recognizable, but you know, you can have a bunch of, like a golf putter. Doesn't it go like that? I'm not a golf player, but I'm trying to think of something funny that someone's thrown away their clubs. Maybe he did. Maybe he's cheesed off. Maybe he rented golf clubs. No, maybe he borrowed some old golf clubs because he scammed somebody and that's how he got the cash. I told you folks, I'm just making this up as I go along. But that's what you have to do, and that's where you get lots of ideas. I'm doing a perspective thing here to get the recession. You're spacing stuff closer as it goes away from you. And then you can do the same thing with dots, like that's just texture or whatever. All right, I'll see if I can kind of finish this. And I think I'll just add a car over here to balance the composition. Oh, I forgot my lamppost. All right, if this is a lamppost over the highway or something, I don't know, then I need to see if I can make it look like it belongs. All right. Now, I could probably add more signs, like a no signs. That's what the sign says. No signage allowed. Let's do a funny car. Now, again, I've got my reminder to myself, that's the horizon line. So how big is the car? Well, if I put it down here, it would be tiny, right? Like, because the horizon line is at whatever scale this guy is, it would be at, like, I don't know, if this guy's 4 feet high, let's say 5 feet. What is that, 2 feet? So I could draw any number of cars, and let's have a car going the other way, away from him, and fairly close. Let's make up some kind of car. I'm going to make it an open seat. And I'm going to just wing it here, like, let's get the bumper in. It's about scale, right? Sometimes you kind of do it by intuition. Other times you do it worrying more about technicalities, but get these wheels in. I'm trying to always be cognizant, there's a big word for you, of the horizon line and the perspective and the form and the design, the shapes I'm putting in. Because again, I'm trying to keep the composition working as a unified thing as I improvise. I don't know what kind of shoes those are. All right, so let's get a character in here. And this would be like some kind of fold up convertible, which again I find amusing. And just to make it funny, let's get some kind of bird here driving. You can get away with more with animals because they're different sizes and proportions and shapes, so your eye can be more easily accepting them. And we're going to do a bird here with plumage. So I'm just trying to think about how to get it so that he's driving, and it's fun to put a scarf on them for movement. I don't know, it's just another thing. I know, this guy will be in the back seat. He's like a delivery guy and he's in the back seat and he's too big for it. I'm doing that because I made him too large and high up, so now I've got to find a way to justify it. He's got a package here and another one over here. Maybe it's luggage. Maybe I can add some details after. I'll do it now. Corner pieces, like it, to make it look like luggage. You know, that old stuff and a handle. The old luggage had like The old luggage had these corner protectors. So maybe it's somebody moving. That's what we're seeing whiz by here. And somebody in a hat here who's driving. And I don't know if this is going to be working, but let's just keep going. Really, you just draw or die. Just keep drawing. That's what I always tell myself. And see what you can get away with. That's supposed to be the steering wheel. Try not to bog down in this too much. All right, that's going to be okay. I can't show two more here because I've got this guy's beer bottle, and I don't want to run into it too much. So what I'm going to do is just finish this bit, and I need the other wheel to make it clear that it's a car, and I'm going to put the silhouette of this car down below here. I'm trying to keep it clear and not join into the silhouette of this dog cretin. Let's draw it like this, like it's an old-timey car. I'm watching the perspective to make it smaller. You see the wheels? So I'm estimating the base of this wheel here so that it's diminishing in perspective more or less accurately. Often I put the same symbols on similar elements. So like if I used a different texture on the different wheels, it would be confusing. Your eye wants to know that it has the same cartoon symbol on different, like they're the same thing but in different places. So you want to be able to pick that out by putting the same symbols on them. I'll turn this line here into, it's like one of those, what do you call it, on a door where it's, that's the mirror, where it's like the protector. I'm sure a car buff knows the exact name. Okay, so there, we need the door handles up here. Maybe this door opened, the back door opens hinged at the back like some old cars had, so they put the handles together. This is some kind of vent. Let's show the form here of the back. And a back window would be funny. A couple of lines to make it sure it looks shiny. Rear tail lights, always think of structure. And is this a hatch? I don't know. Maybe a line like that. Hinges, some kind of handle or rear light. All right, and let's do some motion lines. We got our vanishing point over here, so I'm going to estimate the direction. Motion lines like this, of course, are another valuable cartoonist cheat because I don't have to draw what's behind there, right? Can I get out of it? And of course, the sheet of paper blowing gives motion. I'm giving away all my tricks. Of course, they're not mine. They're just standard cartooning fun things. Now maybe we'll just do a real quick building to give some sense of depth. And let's just do it like this. I'm going to do a building that brings us in, following this perspective. This line's going to bring us into the drawing. I'm leaving air because you don't always want to have everything touching. It kind of kills it. So let's just suggest like it's a really far away building by doing this. These are like windows. And again, I'm basically following the perspective. And then maybe this is a slightly closer part of the building or another building, I don't know, but I'm just going to work in a kind of a grid, converging, like slowly, you see it's slowly shifting down towards the horizon line. I'm going to trail it off. This is, again, suggesting like modern buildings in a windows. And what am I going to put here? I don't know. Oh, I know. Cheat. No, I was going to cheat and put a tree, but it might not be that. Oh, I can probably get away with it. You see, there's a lot of talking to yourself when you do these. That's a pretty tall tree if it's across the street, but maybe I get away with it. This is a cartoon world after all. And lastly, some kind of suggestion of a what am I going to do here? More trees. See? Quick and easy. Gives character, and you don't have to draw too much. You just draw some quick tree trunks. You're drawing the upper limbs like this because the foliage is going to obscure the actual trunks. You don't draw in the upper part where the foliage is, you don't draw in all the details. At least I don't, because I like it. And that's how it looks when you go out and walk around and look at things in the distance and use your eyes and do like I'm always saying, which is absorb stuff from your surroundings and figure out how to turn them into your own cartoon symbols, and then compare those to other people's cartoon symbols. And you can rapidly learn a lot because you see the real thing, your version, or what you noticed of it, and then you see what other people did. And you discover that there's all kinds of different mannerisms out there. Again, I'm keeping this vanishing point roughly in mind. And let's do maybe buildings like this. I'm just trying to suggest, like some kind of skyscrapers so as to get this drawing done. What's on the roof? The mechanical air conditioning or whatever. Maybe let's put some kind of cell phone towers if it's a modern building. And I need something here because this is too eye-catching, so let's put a little pipe. And more distant windows to suggest scale, so that gets you the depth and perspective. They're a lot smaller and smaller spaced than up here. And yeah, we're almost done. Then I'm going to just suggest like a distant skyline that you don't really even have to add more details. You just have to make sure the skyline is varied enough to be perhaps believable. This could be even another building joining in visually, which is what happens at distance. And again, you're really just thinking of composition. I've left these buildings, of course, I can't make them up here because they look way too big, but it allows this, like everything forms silhouettes and compound silhouettes. So each piece is a silhouette and then they join into bigger silhouettes. So for example, here in the picture, you've got the silhouette line along here and then his head's popping out. So I've purposely allowed it to highlight. So because of this negative space around here, your eye is channeled into looking at his glasses. And now I'm going to finish off. Like I think I'm at about half an hour, so that's a patch on the guy's shoulder character. Oh, I know. Let's have him patched more. It's poverty, and yeah, I'm at about half an hour, so I don't want to go on too long here. But being a perfectionist, who loves cartooning and drawing all this stuff, I have a tendency to want to keep fussing it up. The question, of course, is when to stop. Excuse me, you could make a whole video about that. When to stop. Cartoonists who go too far and ruin their own drawings has happened to me too many times. Any cartoonist who's done it a lot knows what I'm talking about. These are like the small twiggy, suggestion of twiggy twigs, the outer branches. Okay, last thing is I'm going to wing in some clouds, again with an eye to keeping us directed towards this guy. And I'm having them pass behind him. I'm trying to keep them broken up because I don't want to interrupt. If I made them too solid and connected, they, number one, wouldn't look like clouds. And number two would kind of, they would bring this background way up to the foreground and join in, which you don't want. You want that feeling of distance. So now I'm going to do a base to the clouds, and they're going to be pointed at the dogman's eyes here. And I'm going to break them up even more as they go back because you want it to sort of feel like it's receding. And maybe here we need some more irregular clumps of clouds. like I said, it's hard to know when to stop. That's really one of the big things about any kind of drawing, and this kind of drawing in particular. Right now I notice, for example, my eye's drawn a bit too much over here, and there's an empty space up here. You don't have to fill every space, but it's about balance. You're trying to make it balanced. So what I'll probably do is put like a big bird, a couple of birds up here, and that sort of gives some interest, and it feels like it's balancing more. Maybe a couple more birds over there. They're going to go land on this roof. They're hanging out there. And this one's going to land. Oh, I promised ash, so it might be too late for it to read, but let's turn this into ash and a bit of smoke from Mr. Smokerhead, Dogman Smokerhead. His ash is falling. It even fell on his arm, but he didn't notice because he's a drunken dog who just made the big score of money from the golf club scam. He cheated. I don't know, he went to play golf with wealthy grim animals and cheated them. See, you can just start coming up with things that's incredibly dumb, but it's a storyline, and it's like a pot. You throw stuff in and you see what starts cooking, which is what, of course, all the great cartoonists at places like Pixar and Disney in the past and other animation places, they brainstorm this, and that's how they evolve their stories. Okay, that's the end for now, but I can't stop. And hope you enjoyed it. Standard end rant. Please subscribe if you like this and want to see more. Share it anywhere. Comment, all the other good stuff. Thanks for watching.